Just how good can a cheap phone get, and how cheap can a good phone get? Well, Xiaomi for one seems intent on finding out, and its latest offerings in the Android One program are pushing the boundaries even further than last year's wildly successful Mi A1. This is the Xiaomi Mi A2 hands-on. This year there are two Mi A2s, the regular and a light version, but don't let the name fool you because there's a lot going on in the light version the main one misses out on, like a larger battery, a headphone jack, and microSD expansion. This is because the Mi A2 Lite is based off the hardware for the Redmi 6 Pro, which features all those essentials. The Mi A2 on the other hand is based on the Mi 6X, which doesn't. Instead, the Mi A2 delivers higher-end optics in the camera, a faster chipset, and more impressive top memory configuration, while the Mi A2 Lite aims to bring Android One right down to Android Go's doorstep with a €179 starting price. If you want to spend a little bit more, then you can enjoy the different benefits of the Mi A2. The big selling point here is the bump in camera performance. You've got a dual camera experience with a primary 12 megapixel sensor and a 20 megapixel sensor for better low light performance. They share aperture, so the difference is what Xiaomi is calling Super Pixel, a fancy name for the familiar pixel binning approach we've seen other OEMs take, where 4 adjacent pixels are combined into one. Xiaomi's trick is that it then upscales the result back to a 20 megapixel image. In portrait mode, the Mi A2 will auto-select the best camera for the conditions, but the rest of the time you're going to have to toggle between cameras manually. It's hardly a hassle, but if you don't realize this seemingly insignificant detail, you'll always be shooting at 12 megapixels and getting worse low-light shots than the 20 megapixel camera is capable of. The front-facing camera is the same 20 megapixel sensor, but at f2.2 aperture instead of f1.75. It also supports 2 micron superpixels and comes with front-facing HDR, AI beauty, portrait mode, and a 4500 Kelvin selfie light. On the Mi A2 Lite, the secondary and front-facing camera have 5 megapixel sensors, putting a clear split between devices. Do you value photography and performance, or battery life, expandable memory, and a headphone jack? Software is stock standard Android 8.1 Oreo with a promise of Android P as soon as it is available. There's only 4 non-Google apps here, including a custom camera app and a couple of Mi features in the settings menu. Perhaps the weirdest thing to get used to if you're coming from the Mi A1 is the back button is now on screen and on the left. Google Assistant, Google Lens, Google Play Protect, Oreo battery optimizations, and Project Treble are all part of the package here. Not having to worry about software at all means that Xiaomi's hardware can really come to the fore. It also means multiple Android OS upgrades and regular security patches. You'll miss out on a lot of what makes Xiaomi Xiaomi in MIUI, but considering the Mi A1 made the top 10 best-selling smartphones globally in February, Android One clearly isn't that much of a compromise for a lot of people. The display on the Mi A2 has grown since its predecessor at just under 6 inches. It's Full HD+ like the Mi A2 Lite's 5.84-inch IPS LCD, but the Lite variant has a notch while the regular version does not. There's only a mono bottom-firing speaker here, so perhaps more comprehensive audio support will be next year's big feature request for the Mi A3. You do get Oreo's audio codec support if you're into wireless headphones though. Both support 5V 2A fast charging, but only the Mi A2 gets USB Type-C, while the Lite version sticks with micro USB. Again, this is partially due to their respective price points, but also based on the Chinese originals upon which these phones are based. There's nothing wrong with using an existing blueprint for a low-cost handset, but it makes you realize just how significant Xiaomi's selection of devices for future Android One phones will be. We'll be taking the Mi A2 out and about to test its camera a little bit more in the next few days, so keep an eye on AndroidAuthority.com for that and stay tuned for the full Mi A2 review. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do your thing here, here, and I'll see you guys in the next one because we are your source for all things Android.